I'm Ben Hyde from BCC Hardware, coming to you today from the Calgary International Auto and Truck Show in Calgary, Alberta. We're here today at the Calgary International Auto and Truck Show, and I'm speaking with Darren Shotanas. He's going to be talking today a little bit about the Ford F-150 line and what you guys are doing with that. I know you guys are bringing new materials to market. You're going with aluminum in these new F-150s?
Yeah, absolutely. The truck right behind us here, it's the 2015 Ford F-150. It's an all-new aluminum body itself, first in its marketplace for a full-size pickup truck. The biggest advantage is it's about 700 and change pounds lighter than the current truck.
So is it more than just the frame that's aluminum, or we're talking body panels, or what?
Frame and body panels itself. So they've structured the frame a lot stronger than the current frame itself, and then all the body panels, all the body skin and everything is all aluminum.
Okay, so the perception is with aluminum that it's light. It's 750 pounds lighter, but it doesn't have the integrity strength of steel. I mean, it's a perception. How do you offset the perception of aluminum being kind of a throwaway vehicle to the reality that it actually is very strong?
It is. It's a common I shouldn't say like it's not known in the industry, but there's a lot of aluminum vehicles already out there, but they're all high end, like the Jaguars and a lot of the higher end product is already aluminum. So it's been tried and true, tested out there forever. No, I shouldn't say forever, but for a long time. So it's not like we're breaking ground here. We are breaking ground though for a truck itself, because everybody feels like the truck needs to be steel and all that kind of stuff, where nowadays the technology has come so far that really the biggest thing is making it lighter and can make it stronger. For example, airplanes and that, they're all aluminum based, and they're huge and they fly in the air and all that kind of stuff. So really, why can't a truck be that? So.
Right. Yeah, an airplane carries a little bit more payload than an F-150 as well.
Absolutely.
So now with these aluminum trucks, they're lighter. So you guys are putting smaller engines in them. So these engines are more efficient. And yet, how is that going to affect like the perceived power and the hauling ability?
Actually, with the trucks itself now, being in Alberta, it's always, it's an oil crazy country itself. So when they first brought out the EcoBoost engine, a lot of people within our industry was a little skeptical of it, because they said you need the big V8 power and that's what the consumer wants. And Ford was very adamant, saying, no, we'll bring it to market and we'll show you that the customers will be happy with the V6s and such. It came out, and sure enough, it's our number one selling engine now. So everything that you're seeing rolling out within the Ford lineup itself and Lincoln itself are all coming in the EcoBoost engines, smaller based, 4 cylinders, 6 cylinders. You're even going to see a 3-cylinder in some of the smaller cars itself that are going to produce some massive horsepower. There's no worry of ever having not enough power for towing, ample torque, and it's fine. There's nothing to worry about.
Okay, so what is the biggest advantage? Like, there's numerous advantages going to new materials, but what's the biggest advantage going to an aluminum truck?
I think overall you're going to see probably the CAFE standards that are being imposed by the governments itself and the fuel economy. That's becoming more and more evident in our industry. So the lighter the vehicles get, the better gas mileage they get, which helps Ford out with the governments and that kind of thing. So that's probably the biggest thing that you're going to see, is that these trucks and everything are going to become more fuel efficient, better for the consumer, and help Ford in the long run with the governments. So.
All right, well, thank you very much for telling us about the Ford F-150.
You're very welcome.
So now we're talking about smart technology in these Ford vehicles, and Ford has really kind of pioneered the way to bring smart technologies to mainstream vehicles in the past, and we've appreciated that. So what sets Ford's smart technology apart from the competition?
Probably the biggest thing was really Ford was the first in the industry to really launch the smart technology. The Microsoft Sync system itself, or now known as MyTouch, they were really the pioneers launching it on a mass scale into the industry itself. So that's probably the biggest thing, is they were just the original pioneers.
Okay, and so you can get smart technology like the MyTouch in the Focus, and you can get it all the way up into like a King Ranch Edition pickup truck. What are the difference between the tiers of vehicles? Is it all the same, or do you get more if you buy a more expensive vehicle?
No, that's the beauty of it. Really, it's just it's software, and it's rolled out amongst all the vehicles. So I've always said, somebody's Fiesta is somebody else's Lincoln. So it's all relative. So we try to give the mass appeal to everybody. So yeah, it rolls out whether you're in a pickup truck or a car. So.
Okay, and there's no different levels of it. MyTouch is MyTouch right across the board?
That's correct.
Okay. So now I know there's been a lot of talk about you guys going to making the move, dropping the Microsoft MyTouch and going to BlackBerry's system. What are consumers going to see different about that?
Well, firstly, it hasn't been 100% communicated to us that is what's going to happen. We've heard rumblings. As I was saying earlier, Ford being the pioneer of this, unfortunately they did, like anything, it's software, and there was some glitches that took place, and it has soured a little bit of the public opinion on it. So I think maybe Ford's hedging their bet that if they can go to the software called QNX, which has already been in place by BMW cars, Mercedes, a lot of the higher end luxury cars, that might help redo the perception of the Sync system itself. But I can honestly say, personally, from Sync, I'm surrounded by the cars all the time, and I rarely have any issues with it whatsoever. So sometimes it's I would dare to say maybe a little user error at times, but sometimes it happens that way.
Yeah, no, it only takes one or two horror stories, or you knew that neighbor once, or you talked to somebody that had the issue, and then it becomes overly inflated. But there was some issues. We've seen them personally, and hopefully this new software, and again it's rolled out by a lot of other people, so it's not something new, a different direction that Ford's going. It's actually proven.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it doesn't really matter which software you have. There's always going to be a little bit of computer glitches. You're always going to get that rainbow wheel going on every once in a while. So, I think as we progress and the more computer savvy we want to get in these cars, people are just going to have to understand that with computers comes a little bit of glitches here and there. So.
Right, so I know you don't have a firm date, but you have any idea when we're going to see BlackBerry in a Ford vehicle?
I don't. I mean, I can only speculate that probably maybe next year you might see something coming along.
So with the new software, you're assuming that we're going to have like good compatibility across all mobile platforms?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously Android and iPhone are the two top contenders out there. BlackBerry has always been tried and true as well, but they've struggled in the marketplace as well. So I think whatever software gets rolled out within these vehicles itself, it has to be compatible amongst the big three per se.
Yeah, so Microsoft phones aren't even equated into that yet, or?
Well, actually, I have a Lumia 1020 myself, and it being Microsoft, it syncs very well with the Microsoft Sync system, so I have no issues with it whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, there's certainly not that many Windows phones out there, but no problem on my end. So.
All right, so we're looking forward to seeing all this new smart technology roll out in 2015. Kind of the same, a little bit better, and as we go into 2016, we're going to see even more amazing stuff, hopefully, from Ford.
Oh, absolutely. It is amazing to see the technology that's coming out, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. We've seen a little bit, behind the scenes, and it's crazy, the stuff that's coming. So.
Excellent. So make sure you stay tuned to Ford and see what the crazy stuff he's talking about coming up in the coming years. As we wrap up our Ford coverage here, we're going to be stopping and talking about electric and hybrid vehicles. Now, you guys have a few different models of hybrids and electrics. What exactly models do you guys have?
Currently, we're running in the Fusion platform, the Focus that you see behind us here. There's a C-Max, and then there's the Lincoln MKZ as well that runs in a hybrid model as well. So
those are hybrids, or which ones are just straight electric?
Currently, right now, we've got a Ford Focus that you see right behind us here, is the pure electric model, and the Ford Fusion as well.
Okay. So as you're you're moving more towards electric and alternative fuels and hybrids and electrics. What kind of infrastructure do you see? Like, these are basically commuter vehicles, but let's face it, there's times when you're going to want to travel to someplace else and see grandma or see take the kids someplace.
It's I mean, you can use a standard 240 volt outlet to charge it itself. The recommendation is a power charging station, which you buy aftermarket. It was through Best Buy, and now we've changed manufacturers to actually do it itself. Infrastructure itself, I would say, to be honest, is still a little sparse around the city. More and more gas stations you're starting to see pop up with them itself. A couple of the big retailers, I believe Costco has got a couple of them in now. Some of the shopping malls I've seen them in. So slowly it's starting to come, but in the States, I find it a lot more prevalent. I went away on holidays to Hawaii once, and it seemed like every parking lot had one or two charging stations. So I think there's certain places that are a little more up on it than others yet. So
battery technology really hasn't changed much in the past 60, 80 years. Are you guys looking at converting to better battery systems, or is the industry standard good enough for you guys?
I think right now, I know they are looking at different technologies for it itself. Cost is still the biggest thing. People just don't understand the cost of building these cars itself. They are a heavy vehicle. I think you're going to see sort of the standard batteries here for a little while. Slowly, as the industry catches up and starts going forward, you'll see some more technology. But for the short term, I think you're going to see what you get is what we have is what you get. So.
Right, yeah. I mean, everybody wants the best. They want to be more energy efficient. They want to be, be able to run longer between charges, but nobody wants to pay that extra 30% premium to get there.
Absolutely, and it's tough, and especially being in Alberta. It's, we're oil and gas country, so it's there's not a whole lot of love to the electric or the hybrid, but slowly, it's coming around, and it's getting a little more popular. For example, on the Lincoln end of things, on the MKZ, it's no charge difference between the two vehicles, so you can choose a gas model or you can choose a hybrid model for the same price tag, which is the first. Like, normally there's a premium to go with a hybrid. This time we're saying your choice, so no extra cost. So
that's pretty cool. So now, as you guys, electricity, you burn it up. Are there ways that these cars are conserving or capturing, waste heat or anything to convert back to electricity?
Yeah, it's pretty standard amongst the industry of when you're braking, it transfers powers, that kind of thing. There's technology out there that it takes it from solar panels in the roof on some of the vehicles itself, not in the Ford product, but there is some out there. But generally speaking, the braking is the biggest regenerizer, or however you want to say it, of product itself. That's about it, really.
So are there any upcoming models, new electric models or hybrid models down the road?
Nothing that I'm aware of. Ford might have something up their sleeve, but nothing that's been communicated to us at this point in time. We find that there's enough takers here with these vehicles itself. They're not a huge volume for us, but slowly, people do talk about it and get interested, but I'm not sure if Ford will roll out too many more.
This is Ben Hyde for BCC Hardware, wrapping up the Calgary International Auto and Truck Show. And I got to kind of say, I'm really digging the new Corvette.